welcome to another episode. It's been a while. I'm always taking breaks. I'm not really good with consistency, but I'm trying to get better. I've still been recording, even though I haven't been uploading like actual what do you call these, audio. I have videos recorded, so it's just like I've been doing my part, now I just gotta put it all together. But what is up, you guys? I have been MIA for a while, but I'm in a season right now. I just hit 23, and if you know anything about 23, it's about that Saturn return. Okay, and if you're not an astrology girly, it just means identity crisis. And I feel like I've been having quite literally just that. Even listening back to my old podcast videos, because I was like, you know what, when I don't feel like, getting on here and really expressing myself, maybe I can just use my old audio from my more popular videos that I've uploaded. And I was listening to those and I was like, that is not me. I was listening to those videos I don't even know her anymore, and if I did, I would have some shit to tell her. And I just want to move forward with embracing this new version of me. And I don't really want to take a step backwards into who I was. So anywho, with all that being said, recently I just came back from Puerto Rico. Okay, I was out there eating arroz con pollo. Let me stop playing. But literally, the food was amazing, super expensive, but I did my big one out there. And it was so crazy because, of course, I'm in this island, island girl. I still wasn't having an amazing, spectacular time just because of the space I've been in mentally. Lately, my anxiety has kind of just been spilling over into all the areas of my life. If you know me, I'm anxious. I'm the worrier. You're thinking of one scenario, I'm thinking of 20, okay? And I'm going through them in a shower. I'm performing every scenario that could happen. And just I'm in my head so much, I forget about the life outside of my head, my reality. And I think that what I want to talk about today is letting your life fail, letting your life crash and burn, letting the things in your life that are holding you back death. And I do tarot readings. I'm an astrology girl for myself. I'm not a practitioner. But yeah, I was just doing a reading for myself one day, and the death card came up. Ooh, spooky. And I was like, death? And if you know anything about tarot, it's death doesn't mean death. Death means an aspect of your life dying. And right after the death card, it just showed this. It was another card. I think it was Ace of Cups or something like that. And to me, it was just basically trying to say that, once you overcome this, once you let this go, this is the life that you can have. And I think that, I don't know, it's so hard to just let go and let God, right? Surrender. Because they always be surrender, just give God your worries and your problems. But it's just how do I do that, right? Because I quit my job, God isn't going to pay my bills. God may give me a way to pay my bills, but it's just just truly surrendering and trusting the process is a process that truly gives me even more anxiety. And it's just I feel for people who are risk takers, and it's just let go, let God, they don't care. They will sell their house, get in an RV, and travel the world for the rest of their life. And even me now thinking of that, my heart is racing. How could you ever do something like that? And I think that's what's limiting me, is that a lot of my thoughts are based in fear, being scared. Oh, what's gonna happen? Because I'm always thinking all these scenarios, right? And they're not good scenarios. I'll never be in my head oh yeah, what if I win $1 million? No, I'm thinking oh my gosh, what if I drive to work is closed, it rains, my car stops working, then I try to go to the store, get some gas, no gas left in the world. I think about stuff like that, and it just goes down, it goes downhill. And just progresses and progresses and progresses until I'm at the point where I have envisioned a whole reality that is false. But I've thought so deeply about it that like it's real now. Now I'm looking around the corners and the edges like, who gonna get me? Who gonna come get me? Like, really, I feel crazy a lot of the time because I'm just like, my mind is creating this world for me, and it's just like I'm literally sitting here feeding it and growing it to the point where it is my world. It feels so real. And I've just, for most of my life, I'm in a space now where I'm trying to change my mindset, but like for majority of my life, I just told myself, this is who I am. A lot of my family know me like, yeah, you do too much. Like, you worry too much. You're too negative. You're too this, you're too that. And like, I've always had these thoughts in the back of my head, like, this is just who I am. Like, I've always been anxious. I've always been nervous, and I worry about every little thing. And, you know, I'm always thinking the worst possible outcome. Like, that has always been me. So I thought I was going to be that old lady in the nut house, you know, telling everybody the crazy stories. You know, I thought that, you know, this is just who I am. And I just have to, you know, learn to adapt to this person that I am and just, you know, try to make life easier knowing this is who I am. And it's just like, you don't have to be anything you don't want to be. And I think that holding on to this idea that something was wrong with me kind of catered to this idea that I was less than, right? That sucks, huh? So just like thinking like I am not worthy. You know, these inner thoughts that we have from our childhood. And, you know, people always say, you know, you have to nurture, heal that inner child. And like, I always felt like I didn't even know where to begin because, you know, yes, like I was abused as a child and my dad left. I got abandonment issues, you know, stereotypical things. And it's just like, okay, so does everybody else. So what's. Wow, I had a little intermission. Someone just rang me. Please, we're not calling in 2023. Anywho's, so yeah, I was just like, you know, what do I do? And so I saw this thing where it's basically talking about how, you know, we have these triggers, and for me, I know what my triggers are, but like I kind of didn't really know what the foundation to them was. And so they're like, you know, think about your triggering moments and then try to bring them down to a base, a foundation. You know, what do they all lead to? So like, why are you scared of somebody leaving you? And I saw this thing that said that overthinkers often think that their thoughts are their feelings. So they may say like, I think you're going to leave me. When someone says, how do you feel? Well, I feel like you're going to leave me. That's not a feeling, that's a thought. So it's just like getting to the root of what you actually feel is something that you can heal, because your thoughts are not you. Your thoughts are just thoughts. So I think an example of like a trigger for me is just like, I'm a perfectionist. If you know me, you know my mama. And you know, my mom is just like super critical. She's Caribbean parent, but also just like a Black woman in America. So just like super protective. And it's just like, everything has to be perfect. You know, you have to try harder than everybody else. You got to do better than everybody else. You got to be better than everybody else to win. You got to win. You got to get out. You got to do good. So it's just like, that's always been my mindset. And I think that there's pros and cons to that because of the way that she's raised me, she's made me a go-getter. You know, if I want something, I go get it. I do whatever I got to do to get it. And it happens. Shit happens for me. But then when it doesn't, because, you know, we fail in life, I feel so down and out, like I'm a perfectionist bad, you know, when shit doesn't work out or it's not going exactly according to plan. It's just like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing good. I'm not that girl no more. Oh my gosh. And I just go into like this spiral. So it's just like, while there were pros to that, you know, the way I was raised, you know, there's cons now. Now, when I don't do good at something, I feel unworthy. I feel like I'm not good enough. I feel like only if I did more. And this doesn't only show up in, you know, work. It also shows up in my relationship. So like when I let my partner down, I'm like, dang, you know, she doesn't want to be with me anymore. I suck. I'm not good. You know, I'm not the best that she can do. And then I go into this spiral, right? Because my mind, it laps and it wraps and I just keep going and going and going. And wow, what a thing to dig into, you know, what I actually feel. So like feeling unworthy is something that I have to heal. or feeling like I have to know it all, not feeling like uncertainty is something that is good enough, is a life that I can live, not knowing that, I may not live to 112. I may only live to 111. And just like being okay with that and allowing my life to actually flow and grow into the many directions that it actually can. I think trying to know it all and outline your whole entire life kind of boxes you into a life that you may be bigger than. Because, like I've talked about before, sometimes our dreams aren't big enough. Sometimes we don't see, like things that, what is the best for us. And just, getting to the root of my mind and the way that I think is just something that I've been trying to do to heal my anxiety. Because like I said before, I felt like this was who I was. This is who I had to be. And I had to just learn how to be anxious, but in a way where I could live with it, like trying to cure the symptoms, but not the actual, shebang. And now I'm at the point of like trying to actually heal my anxiety, not just the symptoms of my anxiety. And it's been quite a process because anxiety is something where, like I said, it can make your reality feel less real. Being a perfectionist, if things even feel slightly off, slightly different, like I read into them so much and I make it so personal. So like, if you look at me different than you did on Mondays, like what did I do, right? I make it about myself. And I think that one of the best things that I can do for myself is to see a world outside of my own. Because life is so overwhelming, I just feel like we as humans are naturally selfish. Naturally selfish. Look at the way we treat the earth, each other. It's just like we are naturally selfish. And to step outside of yourself is a great thing, but it is a difficult thing to see that people have worlds outside of you. So like when I was younger, when people wouldn't text me back, I would be like, oh my gosh, what are they doing? Are they talking to other girls? Are they doing this? Are they doing, and mine going crazy, mind you. They could be asleep, they could be this, they could be, and it still happens to me now. Like if I text my partner and it's been like 3 hours, it's been hours, I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I don't like to not know what people are doing. And it just drives me crazy because my mind just doesn't go to, oh, they're sleeping, oh, they're busy, oh, they're this. Regular human tasks. It's like they're betraying me. They don't want to talk to me. They're ignoring me. It's just like, I want my mind to be more positive, but even if not more positive, more realistic about the lives that people have outside of me, or maybe being delusional about what people are doing outside of me, but in a positive way. So instead of being delusional, like they're ignoring me, they hate me, is they at the club, somebody's shaking their booty on their knuckles, I could be like, hey, they're sleeping. Oh, they're probably doing laundry. Oh, they're probably going for a nice walk, having time for themselves. It's like, again, being delusional in good ways can save your life and your mind. Why are you really living a life that is torturing you, but it's like you torturing yourself? Suffering is not from other people, it's from you. And to know that I have been the root of my suffering, I think has been like, damn, it can't be me. You really don't want it to be you, but sometimes you are the problem. Because again, perspective, seeing outside of yourself is just like, it's such a hard task to do because our worlds feel so big. Like they're the only worlds that exist, and it's just like they are not. It's so many worlds out there that we have to learn to balance, our spiritual lives, our physical lives, our emotional lives. We have to find a way to tie them all in together, but also make room for other people's worlds to exist as well. And it ain't easy, but it can be done. And I think it's an important thing to learn, especially in those 20-somethings when you're learning and unlearning. And I think that research is the most important thing that I can do in my life, because I am someone who is so like analytical, critical, logical. Well, I ain't even gonna say logical, because sometimes, I be in that brain thinking, but I would just say I feel like research does a lot of good, because sometimes you alone are not enough, unfortunately. And I know that sounds crazy, but sometimes if you don't have anyone that you can confide in, or the people are giving you advice, it just feels like shit advice. You're just like, what do I do? Where do I go? And you just keep asking yourself for the answers, and you just feel like I'm not getting the answers for myself. I feel miserable. What do I do next? I feel like research, the things that you are going through, that I am going through, are not things that only we have gone through. Our friends, our family, people we don't know, strangers, our ancestors. Sometimes we're going through things that granny did. That great granddaddy was going through. It's like we're going through those same things. We're healing our bloodlines. And research, to me, has provided me the most comfort, but also the most hope. I'm a very spiritual person, so I also pray and just ask my guides or my ancestors or God straight up, I need help. But also reading about people who are also in their 20-somethings, or reading about people who feel like they have acquired the wisdom to live a life that feels fulfilling, has made me feel fulfilled. Knowing that people are overcoming addiction, anxiety, suicide, depression, and it's just I know that they aren't the only ones with strength. We all have it. It's just tapping into these things and, wanting better for yourself in a way that actually helps you to accomplish something. And more than anything, I want to accomplish. I'm trying to meet and greet my goals. And so, as I have finally turned 23 and have hit that Saturn return, I am committed to exploring the things that have hurt me and healing them. I've committed to not being what has hurt me, but being more than, or being a product of those things. And just more so being, or seeing those things as character builders. And I don't know, just being just the person that I envision, when I think about my future, the person that I see just getting there, because I know I'm going to be everything I'm supposed to. I just have to get there, right? So cheers to another journey, and thank you guys for listening. Have a nice day. Bye.